We just have one item on our agenda this evening, and it's our planning board report from the month of January. I can't believe it's the end of January already. But it has not been a very busy meeting with the planning board. For our two meetings, the first one was January 7th, and there were actually no items on the agenda that evening. The second meeting was January 21st, and there was one item on the agenda for that evening, and it's a sketch plan for 2074 Lockport Road. The applicant proposes at this location to reuse the existing building, which is the Niagara Ministries building, to house two contracting companies, which would be Gaines Electrical and Niagara Plumbing and Mechanical, and an attorney's office. Site plan approval is required due to the change in use of the building. No outside improvements are proposed, and the applicant was advised of items to include with their site plan, including a calculation and layout of their proposed parking and a proposed dumpster location. No action was required.
That has not been approved at this point, correct?
No, they just need to bring in a site plan. They're hoping to take the survey that they have to have updated for purchase of the property and to just draw their parking space on there. And only they know at this point. They have a layout of what they want to do inside, but they need to determine, you know, this 1,000 square foot is going to be warehouse, this 1,000 square foot is the attorney's office, and the remainder is what type, so that they can go through and calculate per the code how much total parking is required. Pretty sure they're going to have enough parking there because it's a church, as it was used for, usually has more required parking. So.
Okay.
And that's all we had.
Yeah, I do. I have a question on this.
Go ahead.
Tim. Was Niagara Ministries tax exempt?
I believe they were.
Now this will go back on the tax rolls.
That's my understanding, yes.
That's good. So there's one, we lost one, but we got one back.
They did apply with the, well, actually they didn't put an application, they discussed it with the IDA, but the site of the project isn't large enough to justify the expense. So it will be just a straight purchase and a straight opening of a business.
Tim, I have one question, an unrelated item. Mario Park, we're stepping aside right now. There was a line item for $140,000 for topsoil. I don't know if you can answer this or not. What happened to the topsoil that was there?
Well, that site has been a fill site for longer than I've been here in Wheatfield. And just from the nature of it being a fill site, I could actually not tell you where any fill or any topsoil that may have been on there before it was used as a top site, as a fill site ended up. So there's basically not a drop of it left on the site from all the work that's been done there over the years.
Yeah, I know the current Mario Park, before it was constructed, the town highway, and this has to go back to like 1992, 93, bulldozed all of that topsoil over, and then the town highway or someone got fill from someplace. And then when it was filled a couple of feet or so, not a lot, but maybe 2 or 3 feet, then the highway garage, you know, brought all the topsoil back. But we didn't own that property off of Jagow until, was it Barone?
So I think that sounds familiar.
Or Forest City. Did Forest City?
I think it was Barone.
We
No,
bought,
it was Forest
well, there was two separate acquisitions. We bought the property closest to Jagow from Forest City.
Okay.
I forget when and how much we paid. The other site at the other end, Barone dedicated to the town in conjunction with something, but that I'm fairly, I think he gave that section to the town.
And at the same time that Barone dedicated that southern parcel, I think he gave property owners along there another 20-foot or so property buffer.
That's taxing my memory too much. I'm lucky I remembered the first two.
He did.
Anything else for Tim? Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
We do probably have to go into executive session this evening. We'll hold that off for after the motions, possibly after the board member items. So now we're ready for regular motions, Bob.
First one is to approve firearms discharge permits for the individuals listed on the attached schedule.
I've got a question on that. On that schedule, is that for this coming year, the 2015, or is it for 2014?
firearms discharge permits, I think, are good for 2 years, so it'll start when they were granted and go for a 2-year period.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
So move.
Moved by Randy, do we have a second? I'll go ahead and second. Anything on the question? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed?
Abstain.
4-0-1.
We're gonna skip the next two motions. Next motion is to authorize the Water Sewer Department to post for an additional MEO position.
So moved.
Moved by Gil, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Art. Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? That's approved.
Again, from the Water Sewer Department, motion to hire Victoria Spring as a part-time clerk. There's some updating work that needs to be done, and they need some additional clerical help.
I'll make the motion.
Moved by Larry, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Randy. Anything on this question? Rich, got any idea on how many hours you're talking?
I am not sure on how many hours it's gonna take to go over, get the, stuff updated for the software, so.
Is that primarily what it is, just to get off the ground with Springbrook?
Exactly. Probably gonna be
Excuse me.
16 hours a week, maybe 20 hours a week.
Okay.
They didn't donate any time to you for that?
A lot
I
of
mean, as
stuff
part of
has-
their price, their package?
There's some stuff with the SBL numbers and accounting tax roll that has to be updated with the water addresses for billing, and that's stuff that's not included in that, that's stuff we have to take care of. We probably could have been doing it for the last few years, but
We could probably let them do it, but it'd probably be a heck of a lot more expensive.
So,
I have additional.
so the information you're putting into the new system wasn't in the old system. So,
Make sure everything's correct when it goes into the system.
yeah, the new systems, they can migrate the data if it was there, but if it was missing from the old system, there's nothing to migrate, so you have to key it in by hand.
Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second to hire Victoria Spring as a part-time clerk. Anything further on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That's approved.
Next motion, again, Water Sewer, to authorize Chris Harder, Tim Devontier, and Greg Martin to attend the New York State Health Department water distribution class at a cost of $375 per person.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Gil, second by Larry. Anything on the question?
This gives them their Class A license, or what?
Class D distribution license.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's approved.
Next is a motion to authorize the purchase of a 2015 Ford pickup from Van Bortle Ford at a state bid price of $26,205.22.
Do we have a motion? I'll go ahead and move. Do we have a second?
So move.
Second by Art. Now, you're essentially replacing a truck that's only 5 years old, or 4 years plus. How many miles on it?
24,000.
And is there a reason why you want to change it out?
We're anticipating with the sale of that vehicle to offset the price of the new one.
That's
Okay.
gonna go on the auction.
That's the next motion, yeah? Yep. Okay. Along those lines, have you talked to the other departments to see if they need a truck with 24,000 miles?
Building department had some interest, but I don't think they have any money in their budget to accommodate that.
Spend it all on software, did he?
Well, we just bought them a new car, too.
Just a car.
You don't like that.
Okay, anything further on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That's approved.
And next is to authorize the posting of a 2011 Ford F-250 pickup for sale on Auctions International.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Larry, second by Art. Anything on this question? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's approved.
Next is to authorize the Highway Department to purchase a hot mix transporter for Marathon equipment at a cost of $23,280.65, based upon a quotation received by the town of Niagara.
I'll go ahead and move. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Gill. Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's approved.
Final motion, actually the proposals probably have to be tweaked a little bit, but this would be to request proposals from engineering firms to conduct a townwide drainage study. I did have a draft RFP. There probably needs a little bit of tweaking. Probably the due date should be changed, but we can do that later, I guess.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Gill, second by Larry. Anything on this question?
This is a pretty significant move to do a comprehensive townwide drainage study that should be of great benefit to the town and its residents.
Yeah, we have this tendency to look at drainage on a project-by-project basis or a flood-by-flood basis. And what we want to do is take a look at the whole town and see if we can answer some questions like, is there a faster way to get water out of Wheatfield? If we clean out Sawyer Creek, will it make any difference or not? Maybe it won't. Questions like that need to be looked at for our long-term good before we can make decisions on other subdivisions. So that's the idea, and we hope to have an answer this year.
I gotta believe that this is the first time we've ever undertook this type of a study.
Probably.
Is that a true statement? No?
I can't say what year, but I know when I went through the filing cabinet and I moved into my office, they did do one, but it was a long time ago.
It's just-
Find out for
Dra- Drainage concerns are a significant concern, and we've got to find out if there's a way to handle it better than what we do.
And a long time ago, our population was probably like 9,000. Now it's 19,000 going on 20, and we didn't have as many subdivisions, so it's well overdue.
Okay, anything further on the question? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That is approved. So start your tweaking.
Yep.
We do want to go into an executive session, I assume, but before we do that, maybe let's do board member items. Councilman Hellwig, anything going on?
Just a couple of things. Bob O'Toole, our attorney, had some correspondence from Time Warner. We were going to try to sit down at the table and negotiate our franchise agreement, but it sounds like Time Warner has now tentatively sent us something. What did they send us, Bob?
Well, they sent us a draft franchise agreement. They used to handle these negotiations out of Buffalo, but they don't do that anymore. We did have a lot of difficulty in getting the right person. We finally did. He's out of Rochester, and he did send us a proposed franchise agreement. He is willing to sit down and speak with the board and have some give and take, so that'll be the next step.
Yeah, what kind of spurred us going after Time Warner is the latest bills that Time Warner sent all the residents that have Time Warner in Wheatfield, and their rates are just, if our rates for taxes went up like their rates are going up, none of us would ever get reelected. But the digital adapter went up over 200%. Internet modems went up 33%, from like $5.99 to $8. Their TV surcharge went up 22%. They have a guide when you hit the guide button on your remote to see what other channels. They charge you, used to be $2.77, it's going up to $3.27. Doesn't seem like a lot, but that's an 18% increase. 33% increase in movie passes, almost a 14% increase in HBO. Their rates go up, but we haven't had a franchise agreement, I don't think, since the late 90s. And we've been after them every year to come to the table to do it, and they just never come back with anything. But I don't know, they seem to be, there's some interest there, but I think they're losing money too, because you go around the town, you see more dish networks and DirecTV stuff on people's rooftops, like more than you ever used to see. So, you know, maybe they're trying to do something in the community again. I don't know, but we got the, I don't know if we have any leverage over rates. The last time we did it, I don't think we had any negotiating power over rates, did we?
We don't have much authority over that. That's the New York State Public Service Commission.
With what Larry's talking about, the drastic raises that Time Warner's been doing, would it hurt for the town to pass a motion and offer Verizon to come into the town and string some lines? Give a little competition to them? Send a letter to them and offer it to them?
Well, Verizon does phones and Verizon does DSL, but if you want the Fios, which is actually their cable TV component, I don't know that Fios is in Erie County. I don't know if Fios is in are they in the city of North Town? Are they where? I think they're a little bit in North Town. I don't know if they're in the town yet, but
I know Wheatfield.
I can tell you about Verizon. Verizon wants you to pay the money up front, because I just met with the guy last week. They want you to pay up front, and that's what they had, like 9 or 10 subdivisions in Orchard Park or Lancaster, and all of them went to Time Warner because they want their money up front versus paying it off over time. So if Verizon was to come in here, they'd probably say we want a couple million to run our lines, or whatever it would be, up front. But you can try.
It's not good, but competition sure would be good for
I understand,
Time
but
Warner.
and the guy stood right in our office and told us that's why we're not getting any of these subdivisions, because we don't want to play ball.
well, and I've done a lot of work with internet carriers throughout Niagara County, and Fios, you have to be within 3 miles of their switch station, or where their major, you know, and it's 3 miles because of the distance of, and it's not as 3 miles as the crow flies, it's 3 miles as you start going along streets and doing the right angle turns, and so it's not an exact 3 miles, but I don't know where their Fios is in North Tonawanda, Erie County, but we're a bit more than 3 miles, I think, from some of those points. They'd have to build another station here in Wheatfield for us to be a benefit.
As far as I know, the only money we get is 5% of the television expenditures on television. I don't think we get anything from internet. I don't think we get anything from the telephone service.
So,
So, and I don't know if that can be negotiated in or not.
I don't know.
the other thing, Modern Disposal sent out, they think they do every year at the beginning of the year, our 2015 recycling guide. And there's a lot of changes. I'm not going to get into mattresses, but plastic bags, they do not want any plastic bags in the recycling. You can take them to your grocery stores and get rid of them. Glass, you can only do clear glass now. You used to be able to do green glass or brown glass, but they will only take clear glass. Plastic, they used to basically take anything with a recyclable, triangle plastic number, but if they have a plastic number 6, they don't want that in the recycling anymore. And all your electronic waste has been banned. I think that's a New York State law starting January 1. But the two biggies, I think, on this was plastic number 6, and they only want clear glass. You can't put any other thing else. And I don't know, we probably ought to put this on our website, and maybe this would be a good thing to put on our new website when we get it. But
Maybe we ought to look at waste management too.
yeah.
See, put them in competition with Modern. You gotta start sorting your glass.
No, you don't sort the glass. You're only allowed to put clear glass.
I understand that. I understand, Larry, that has changed already, that they did put that out, but that there was a series of complaints from some of the places that are doing recycling, and that all glass is now accepted again.
Oh, it is? They're going to send out another guide?
I don't know.
No, they paid a lot of money for that.
It's just like the issue with the mattress. They threw the note out there that said they're gonna charge $30 for each mattress or box spring that's put out by the side of the road if they pick it up. And it just took a couple of town supervisors to sit there and send a little love letter stating, you have a contract. And all of a sudden that changed again. So you can still put out your mattress at the side of the road without paying. They can feasibly hold you to a mattress 1 week and a Box Spring the next week.
Paul, do you get calls on recycling or, at the highway or,
For that over Rich, as far as electronics recycling, I don't think we get too many calls on the regular recycling.
you get calls on regular recycling, Rich?
We get a whole bunch of it. If we get calls on it, it's referred right back to water.
But Kathy, you do? They probably want to know when their recycling date is.
Which is on the website.
That's all I have tonight.
Thank you. Councilman Gurvik, anything?
Just a couple of quick items. February 8th, the Veterans Group will be meeting. We took January off. And the 22nd, the Task Force Group will be getting together for the Comprehensive Planning Boards. And one other thing that comes to mind, hazardous material drop-off points. There was some discussion about that. Is that...
I'll be talking about that in a minute.
You are? Okay, I'll let you handle it. That's all.
Thank you. Councilman Doucette.
I have correspondence from St. Johnsburg Fire Company. They'd like to add Brian Kiley to their as a junior fire to their membership roster. Robert Roth, they would like to have him added as a firefighter, and Sean Jasper as a firefighter.
Very good.
And I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Anything on the question? Good for them. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? That's approved. Anything else, Gil?
That's it.
Thank you. Randy?
Just we're having a meeting tomorrow night at 7, the agricultural focus group at the community center.
Okay. Thank you. I do have a couple of things. One of them has to do with hazardous materials. I'll have a couple of brochures. My secretary and Kathy will have brochures from a company called Hazman. This is a private company. This is the company that got the bid to do the work for the county this year. They're going to have at least 3, maybe 4 drop-off locations over the course of the summer. They are up on the county website. We're going to have them up on our website if it's not up there yet. So we do have a brochure available for those 3 locations. You must have an appointment. You can't just show up with a pile of paint. But if you do have an appointment, you can show up and you'll be able to drop off your material for free. If you need to get rid of something faster on your own, just to get rid of it, you can drop off at this location. It's down in Tonawanda. It's down on Wales Avenue off Fillmore Drive, not far from DeGraff Memorial Hospital. But there will be a charge for it. The town could do the same if we want to do the same, but it gets a little expensive for the town. I did give the guys a estimated quotation as to how much that would be. It could be $35,000, it could be $50,000 or $60,000 to hold a drop-off here in Wheatfield, and we would have to pay it. So that's something that's...
Last time we did it, though, didn't we?
We had a grant. The last time it was done here was before my time, I think. And it was a 50% grant. We might be able to get a 50% grant from the state. It would actually be a state grant if we choose to do that, but I only sent you that information last day or two, so.
Did they say where the 3 locations are? Probably Lockport.
It's all
North-
3 cities. It's the 3 cities. Lockport, Niagara Falls, and North Tonawanda.
And the last year, we had a pile of stuff at the highway garage, and I think Tim said that when they did the Lockport site, they were going to come and pick up our... Did they pick that up?
Okay.
However, she promised that she was going to, so let me bug her.
You can take it over to our house.
We'll deliver it, you don't have to pick it up, we'll fix it.
That's right.
Okay,
You probably don't have the permits to be able to do that.
to haul it. You don't have yeah.
Okay, there is one other interesting thing. The Public Service Commission is putting out a new project. They're looking into the future of energy. They call it Reforming the Energy Vision. And they're holding a meeting this Thursday, January 29th. There's one at 2 o'clock and another one at 6 o'clock in Buffalo. I do have a letter here that shows the address. And they're looking for people from the communities who wish to go and first listen to what they're talking about and then to comment also. You can comment at that meeting or you can comment after the fact, looking toward the future. So if anybody has an urge to get involved in the future of how energy is delivered to us in the future, down the road, this is an opportunity to go and attend one of these meetings, maybe speak up on behalf of the town. I can't make it, but if somebody else wishes to go, I'd be very happy to have them go on behalf of the town. It doesn't have to be anybody here, it could be anybody out there, but it is this Thursday. There are meetings all over the state at other times, but this is your only opportunity for this round, this time. And that's all I have. Our next meeting is February 9th. Right now, we're scheduled for 7:30 p.m. for a regular town board meeting. We may have our green space group present at that meeting, the green space proposal for change. That's not for sure yet. I haven't talked to Justin yet. Before we go into executive session, we'll open the floor up for public input again. Is there anybody who wishes to speak on any subject?
I will.
Go ahead, Kath.
Just a reminder for everybody, the county taxes, the due date is February 2nd, which is a Monday, and my office will be open until 7 p.m. that night, but that's the first due date. So, reminder to pay the taxes.
I hope my bank does. Okay. Before we adjourn, I will entertain a motion to go into executive session on on personnel issue. Does anybody wish to make that motion? Moved by Art. Do we have a second?
Second.